Okay, hello everybody. So my name is Erin Grace and I'm still answering some questions here. And this is the second follow-up question that Alex put in the comments to my Christ Consciousness video. So the follow-up question that she asked me is, is the unlocking to past soul memory a natural intuitive experience, or are there certain aspects that I have found to be helpful in unlocking them directly? Okay, so she's asking me if unlocking your memories, your DNA, your past life, your soul memory, is this just a natural intuitive inner process, or are there certain parts that we can unlock them directly? So that's a really, really good question. And again, the way that my gifts work is I just kind of start and then we kind of see what comes through. So what I want to speak on to that question is how I started to unlock and receive past life memories. So in my experience, past life memories from this planet as well as other planets were triggered by an emotion. And usually there are parallel energies running in this current lifetime. So when you are living your life in this incarnation down here, on planet Earth, there will be certain people, places, things, and situations and environments that can actually cause tremendous amounts of emotion to come up. And in that emotion, there usually tends to be an unlocking of a past life or a soul memory that is tied to what you are currently experiencing in the present moment when you feel that amount of emotion. And the way I can share this is that each soul memory has an energetic pattern to it. So if I experienced a lifetime in the Pleiades and there was an emotion and a memory in the Pleiades, that emotion and that memory created some sort of pattern, okay? It's an energy pattern. And so now that I'm living another lifetime and I'm not currently living in the Pleiades and I'm living on Earth, a certain situation or person or place or environment that literally has the exact same energy pattern. When that kind of shows up in my world as I'm living my life, the fact that it's the exact same energetic pattern, it has the exact same feeling emotionally, that is what has unlocked a lot of soul memories for me personally. So this is really cool. So if you, again, have a lot of Lemurian energy in you and Lemurian lifetimes, then water and places with large bodies of water, places that have waterfalls or crystal clear water or even crystals in general, have a certain energy signature to them. And when you come into that, the presence of those environments or those objects, it brings an emotion up. And in that emotion unlocks a soul memory, and it triggers your DNA to literally open up and get the data up to a conscious level. Now I'm going to speak on the fact that smell ties into memory. And so in this lifetime, if you smelt something when you were a child and then 30 years later you come across that same similar smell, it unlocks memories, right? So it's the exact same thing on a soul genetic DNA level, because I was speaking about how our DNA it's an exact match to your soul pattern, right? And in your soul pattern, you have all of these very unique experiences that create your soul pattern like a big mandala as a whole. And so when you're going through this lifetime and you come across, again, a person, a place, a thing that has that same energy, emotional pattern to it that you experienced in another lifetime, it's going to bring those memories up to a conscious level. So that's how it all began for me personally. Now, what can we do directly? Because so that is the intuitive, natural, very unique process that each individual will naturally go through. It's whether or not you're open enough to match that to a past life. And so in our current present time, we have a lot of healers that focus on past lives. And usually that's around wounding, It's around illnesses. So if I've got some sort of illness, you know, I would go to a healer. They would say, oh, this illness is representative of something that happened in a past life. So they're matching the negative patterns up with the past lives. And yes, it's important, I guess, for those things to come to the surface so you can heal with them and deal with them. In fact, I had an interesting conversation with my client today where this came up, where we were discussing injuries and symptoms that the body will bring up to the surface when it's ready to heal. And so indeed, if I were to manifest an illness, that means my body is bringing a pattern that I've been carrying for a very long time up to a surface level. So then my body produces a symptom of it. And then, yes, as I sit with those symptoms, I could relate that to that similar pattern that happened in a past life, which is where I was carrying that pattern to begin with. And then I can begin to actually identify that pattern and say, okay, how have I repeated that same pattern in this lifetime? Now I choose to put an end to that pattern, and therefore I'm going to clear it and heal it. And your body is again bringing these symptoms up to the surface when it's ready to heal. Your body is so wise. Your body has a wisdom of its own. And this is what I want you to know, is that your DNA also has an innate wisdom of its own, and it knows exactly how to unlock itself and bring memories up to a conscious level. It also has a wisdom of its own that knows how to activate itself, okay? Now, one of the things that we can do directly to unlock our soul memories is actually using our voice, because our voice is indeed like almost like a signature frequency that is unique to everybody. Doesn't matter if you can sing or not sing, that's not what I'm talking about, your voice. Just the frequency, everybody has a very unique voice. It's the same as a heartbeat. Everybody's heartbeat sounds different. It's unique to you. It's as unique as a fingerprint, and so is your voice frequency. And so when you begin to sing certain tones, your soul expression, and speak authentically, your tone of your voice will, in fact, the vibration and the frequency of it will unlock your DNA as well, because your DNA is responding to that same soul frequency, and that innate wisdom inside the DNA is responding to the frequency of your true soul essence, right? Your true soul's essence, and that's what's going to wake up your DNA patterns. So our DNA and our soul frequency is very, very precious. And this is why it's very important for us to truly speak our truth and not somebody else's truth. And also, now this is a trigger warning, guys, and please feel free to ask me questions because this is a serious topic. I don't necessarily encourage trance channeling when you're allowing another being who is outside of you to enter into the physicality or the light body, okay, and speak through us. I don't actually recommend that or encourage it. I know there are some very gifted channelers out there, and I don't mean any offense by any means. In fact, most true channelers are in fact channeling pieces of their multidimensional selves, which is in fact a piece of their soul, which is then they're speaking their own soul frequency. But when you've got these external entities that are not part of your original template, not part of your multidimensionality, asking to enter into your sacred vessel, this is where this is where it's a very big topic. It's a very big topic. And I have another video that I've been making that kind of speaks on this as well. I don't want to paint this in a very negative light, but the reason why I do not encourage the trance channeling is because our DNA and our voice frequency is so unique and special, and our voice is what's going to organically bring up the wisdom from our DNA. So when you're bringing in some other entity's soul frequency through, how is your body really going to be responding to that? How is your DNA really going to be responding to that? It's a really good question, and it's a question that I just want you guys to ponder. Okay, I'm not here to tell you, there is no right or wrong anyway, but in my methods of organic ascension, I really truly believe that it is our true soul's voice, our true soul expression that wakes up our innate wisdom within the DNA and brings these memories up to a conscious level. And again, you can tell from the information that I'm already bringing through, I'm not reading a piece of paper. I'm not reading some sort of script. I'm speaking to you directly through wisdom that is naturally pouring out of my cells. I've integrated my higher pieces on a cellular level. And so I literally walk around and breathe as an embodied starseed. Or again, I'm reaching that level of embodying that Christed 12th dimensional consciousness, right? Am I perfect? No. Do I make mistakes? Yes. I still have a lot of lessons to learn. Like, working on yourself is easy. Being in Christ consciousness around other people, it's a level up. Okay? So we are all here working on the same level. There's no hierarchy here. But I am here with an integrated wisdom that I can communicate. And this is my major gift on this earth. And speaking on past lives, and this is why I can't keep videos under 3 minutes, but speaking of past lives, one of the strongest past life memories that really came through for me actually is a lifetime on earth that literally mirrors and parallels this lifetime, like incredibly so, to the point where the memories pour in so much. So I've literally lived a lifetime that was so similar to this, except it was in more of an ancient Egyptian setting. Okay, I was a descendant of a high priest, let's put it that way, that I didn't necessarily agree with. I was a woman, and because I was considered an oracle then, it was almost like I didn't have the freedom to fully express myself, and instead they just kind of like wrote down everything that I had to say, and they wrote them on these scrolls and tucked them in little clay jars and kept them on a shelf, and it was like these records. But it wasn't the same as me actually being able to connect and teach the collective, or actually connect with a community and share my passion. It was the point where I wasn't able to live. My intention in that lifetime was to come and help the collective. But instead, they just kind of like put me up on a pedestal and my feet weren't able to touch the ground. And they would bring me out as like this idol sort of, I should have just been a statue, because they treated me like a statue, literally. And I never really got to speak the way I wanted to speak at large events. Instead, it was only the special people that would come and scribe everything, and then that information was literally bottled up. Do you know how frustrating that was for my soul that really, really wanted to come here and shift a collective and make a movement, create a movement, but because of the lineage and the family that I incarnated into, it didn't work out. And I was deeply, deeply saddened in that lifetime. My husband was chosen for me. There wasn't really any love there. Again, they arranged a marriage in a way that would keep the genetic and the lineage strong. I was actually part bird and I had more like feather-like hair. And I remember sitting at these like ceremonies, but again, I should have just been a statue. But I remember like the dancing and the celebrations that I would watch, and all I would want to do is dance and have fun and live life. And so in this life, and again, I almost want to burst into tears, because remember, it's the emotions that trigger the memories, right? So in this lifetime, I vow to live my life to the fullest. And I wasn't true to that in the beginning of my life. And these past few years, now that I know who I am and I'm really stepping in, this is really what I'm here to bring. And I am living my life to the fullest. Like, at least this is my intention. And I mean, you weren't meant to just sit around in meditation all day. Otherwise, you just would have incarnated as a statue. You would have incarnated as a mountain or a tree. You're meant to live in this human vessel and be fully alive. And in this life, in this fully coming alive, your past life memories will come to the surface and you will remember.